Good morning, folks. We made it to another Friday, and yeah, I got important things to say. You can tell, right? Sorry I missed yesterday. I thought I had a doctor's appointment at 7:30 in the morning. Turned out it was 7:30 in the evening. But by the time I got back from the trip to the hospital, it was already past when streaming would start. So we did without it. Um, yeah. So today we're gonna do the fourth option from my poll from last weekend, which is a canyon scene. And I think we're going to do Upper Canyon in this world. So less on the mushrooms, high on the rocks, and yeah, we'll see what we get out of it. Why? So we're just going to start by building one wall of the canyon. 5, 10 meters. It might be a bit bigger than I need for this one, but we'll see. Um, 3, tab. Yeah, let's even do it the other way. 2, E. I'm just going to extrude some stuff. Not worrying too much about it. Just going to do a little inset there. That may come back to bite me in the ass, but we'll see. We'll keep it. Well, no, we won't actually. We're going to get rid of that because that's going to be a pain. Well, we can always add it later if I want to, but I kind of want to keep it so that nothing doubles back on itself at this point. And grab that and E, 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 E. Just give ourselves a nice canyon wall. We're not really thinking too much about what we're getting, but something like this seems good. And then our next step, if we just sort of like that as a base space, and I feel like we do, that works for me. It's pretty big too. What's the scale on it? That's, yeah, 100 meters, so like 300 feet. That might be big enough. Maybe make it a bit bigger. Let's grab it. We could just scale it, I suppose, but let's add more variation instead. And like that. And then we'll take it up a little higher. Just kind of to there. Okay. So now I think the best thing I want to do is duplicate it with a Shift D and GX 25. So that's 25 meters separating the two. And we're going to look, and our face orientation is here. So the next thing I want to do is A, Shift N, reverse the face orientations. So now they're both facing inward, which should be good. And that's at least at its narrow point about where we want this to be. So now let's start pushing and pulling a little bit. Um, 1, turn on proportional. This way we can make sure that we don't overlap and we kind of have a base idea of how far apart things should be. And we're going to do some funky stuff, I think, too. I'm just going to pull it up in and out around like this. We're not going to, yeah, maybe I'll worry about the top a little bit. I'm not too concerned about it, but I don't think we're going to look to the top. Okay, and then let's jump to this one for a minute and do the same thing, just to keep them from being the same. So these canyons started out as a split, but there's been wind, there's been whatever. So, that's cool. And I want to add a little bit of weird shapes to his too. So I want to bring that down so it's almost flat like this. And then let's bring this out. We don't want that kind of weird overlapping thing because I want to keep it kind of straight and normal. Because stuff like that just makes the geometry nodes work over time in ways we don't need them to. So I'll grab that, but I do want to split it out. And then maybe I'll make this one pull apart at this side here. So we have our narrow section here, and it's quite narrow. We may even make it narrower. Like that. Okay, let's save. Yeah. Oh, September now. Here we go. 230901-1. Turn off the cap locks. Live stream. Canyon, what do I call it? Observation site. I can type. Cool. And 230901-1 live stream Canyon observation site. All right, we're saved. Now I want to come back in, and I think I'm gonna remesh them now. Quad remesh, set it to like 100, remesh it. This one to like 100 and remesh it. Both those are better. Let's delete the originals. Don't need them anymore. We've got a bit more face action and it's a bit smoother and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I want to take, I think, which face? We're going with this face. Maybe these two faces together. Inset them. E, G, Z. And bring it up. And scale it. And then E, scale it. A little pillar thing going on there. I think that'll be cool. I'm just double checking I really want this point here to kind of work. So I think I'm going to take this part here and E, just so that it goes out past. And we'll do the same thing on this one. 7, E. So our canyon widens there, and our, what you call it, atmosphere is going to be so thick that we won't notice it anyway beyond that. So, yeah, cool. And we might need to go down a little more. I don't know. Sure. Let's take it down a little more. And the same on this side too. There we go. They're not the same, and that's fine. Now, do we want to edit them the same or not? I don't know. Do we want to join them together? I think not, because I think we want to be able to look at them apart from each other. Are we okay with this? Do we want to do more interesting land things? We could. Let's do that. Let's give it a bit more fun. Let's take this face here and extrude it, and then and then extrude it and scale. Scale. We have a little thing here. And we just move that up there. A couple little sticking out. And tab to bring that down a little bit. Get a little less obvious. There we go. Let's save. Let's see what it looks like if we put a geometry node setup on it. Gotta love when it already opens to that. Okay. Add modifier, our geometry nodes, terrain. And control A, rotation scale. No, we're set. It's just wrong. Okay, and we'll add it to here too. Terrain. But they're both scaled badly. We need to fix that. So let's do this one first. Select it all and our displacement. And let's see if we set our scale to like 0.1. Is that going to be better? I'm on that one. Okay. And our strength to 3. I think our strength at 5 is fine, but I want us to maybe set this roughness to 0.25. Is that better? Be a little more than that. 0.33. And I'll set our scale to 0.05. That's a better way of doing it. And roughness back to 0.5. Yeah. That's getting interesting. I like that. I like our little thing sticking up. That's looking cool. Is it doing it on both sides? Yes, it is, because we're in the geometry node, so it's editing both of them. That's good. Maybe I might change the scale of this to 0.02. Not that I think there's a lot of it, but we don't have a lot of flat surfaces. Make a strength of 8. What does that do? Bumps it out a little bit, which I kind of like. Things are a little rough there. Why is that? Is it just the way I'm looking at it? Or maybe. But I think a better option for fixing that is probably add a smoothing modifier afterward. Give it like 5. Yeah, that's better. And this time over here, we'll do the same thing. Smooth of like 5. And save. So we have some ledging, which is kind of cool. Not super into that there yet. Let's see, turn this off. And let's just come here and edit and control bevel, or can I bevel that? Just do that. See if that's better. Still getting that weird lippy thing. Let's try that. Better. It's still there, but that's, it's okay, I guess. I thought about making a land bridge, but I don't think I want to. I think we're going to go with it this way instead. But we can, I want to spend our time, make sure we get this exactly how we want it this time. I'm going to bring this face here over more. So it's very close. I think this is going to be where we build our bridge site there. And that'll be cool. And then on this one, maybe the same thing. Come here, let's say G, and bring this to there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're quite close to each other now. Probably about 5 meters. Let's see how big they are, how far apart they are. Cube. So that's touching, but barely now, and it is 10 meters. Okay, so they're roughly 10 meters apart from each other. That's pretty good. It's like 30, 30-ish feet, some change. 35 feet. Cool. Am I like those? I'm liking all of this as a terrain now. So let's save it and apply it. Go ahead. We'll be courageous. That's Q, apply modifiers, and here Q, apply modifiers. Good deal. We have actual terrains. Save them. Now, let's get some actual shaders on them. I do have one set up in our asset library, but I made a um, a more rocky version yesterday that I'm going to use instead, just so I don't have to go and modify it again. And it's sulfur, right? Sulfur covered rock. Yeah. Append. And let's give it to this one. And give it to this one. And we're going to need to UV map them first too. Cube projection. And here, cube projection. So let's look and see what they look like. Dark. That's what they look like. Yeah. But we can see on the other side. Yeah, much less green, much more just rock, which is what I wanted. And I think on this one now, let's go ahead and set the light up too before we even really jump in too much more than this. Because we want to make sure things bright enough to see what we're looking for. Color, we know our typical is 5000. And we know we have a world that I need to grab, although it's pretty dark. So we'll see how we feel about this time. World. There. And I'm going to move this off the screen and close it. Our sun get brighter because we're higher up too. I like that rock. That's looking cool. I might add more sulfur to it too, but let's angle just a bit just to get something kind of like that popping across. Yes, I think that's cool. Now we are higher up, like I said, so there would be more sulfur deposits on these rocks than we've got now. So let's go add that, or fix that rather. Shading. We just need to come over here, turn off Eevee, and our little add sulfur node. Now let's see what we got. I'm just going to solo the one too. It's so dark. I'll do a second world. I already had world, just so I can see in the meantime, because it's just dark. So we want to add more sulfur to it. Is it just a noise texture? We want to add more here too, I think. Well, that doesn't do as much. But there's just lots of crap on this now, which is how we want it to be. And it's bright too. Yeah. Now that's looking cool. That's how we want this one to be. So very much rock and sulfur. If there's any green, it's very little bit just sort of peeking underneath. We're not really too concerned about it. Okay, that's our side, so we can see where we're at. See how we feel about our little extrusion there. That's looking cool. All that I think is good. So let's save again. Scales maybe a little wonky. Like this is not matching up too well. Let's go back in. Where was I to see that? It was up in the top kind of thing somewhere. Up here, right? Yeah, kinda. Okay, so we have two terrains basically. Let's just make it, see if we can make it a bit bigger. Scale of 45. And the other one also scale of like 25. That's better, I think. And noise on that one is there. Now these two mixed together on what? This node here. Maybe I want it a little less sharp. I think that'll work. Just between the two terrains. And up. And there we go. Yeah. Okay. Save. And back to the layout again. And I do like the sun. I'm going to have to work about the world because it definitely needs to be brighter than we were getting before, but we can tweak to that. That's fine. This other stuff is working for me, and that was the important thing. All right, so let's come here and build some kind of settlement or thing. Now, how do we want to do that? So we said it was about 10 meters across. That gives us a good scale. I'm going to move these to a new group, call it Canyon, and turn them off for right now. And I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to work on at the base, at the origin for a minute. All right. Let's see. Cube, make sure I'm at the right scale. Okay, there's a 2, so I'll stop about that. Okay, so we're going to use a curve and a Bezier curve. We're going to edit it, delete everything, and we're going to add a screw modifier. Then we're going to come to draw, right? Yep. And we're going to see if we're right. Cool, we are right. So this is how we're going to get our base shape. And I don't know, I'm just kind of playing with some shapes to see what I think looks cool. That's kind of good. I like that. And then come to here, grab this one, E, E. Yeah, I like that. Now, SZ0, no, turn off proportional. SZ0 straightens that up. And let's just turn off that for right now so we can line these up. SZ0 lines those up. And that's looking alrighty. I don't want this one to come up. Flatten it out. Cool. And that'll give us a shape. Turn it back on. I think that's a pretty cool shape for a building. We can put a window here, and I am unsure how they're going to get into it yet, but we'll figure that out as well. All right, cool. So then let's just take this out of edit mode, Q, convert to mesh. And now we have this, which is, reasonably good. So maybe before we do that, let's set the screw to, instead of 16 steps, 32. Just make it a bit of a smoother rotation. And now let's mesh. And that's better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And then I just want to come up here, and I think I want to X dissolve vertices. Sure. L. I'm just gonna get rid of this. It was a little too small at the bottom. So I don't want that many tiny loops. And this one's fine. We'll just fill it there too. So we have a solid shape, and save again. Turn back on Canyon. Come up to here. And object set origin, 3D cursor, object set origin, geometry to origin. There's our building. And I think that's pretty cool, almost exactly where it is. I just want to put a person here to check our scale. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever, him. No, not him, because I don't want hair. Him. Generate new human. Ah, see, it's a little small. Just a little small. Scale it up to like that. Cool. I can even pull this further apart now. And this advantage of these being separate pieces. Bring it out to like there. It's still very narrow, particularly for a 10-kilometer deep canyon, but I think that's better. And I like it sort of sticking just there like it's doing. Dig in this tab. Let's solo that. 1, Shift S2, tab, 3. Select that. Select the spin. And we want to spin on Y? Yes. Down. -90. And then just to make sure, E. I don't think it will see it, but let's see. Yeah, there we go. That works for me. Oh, I like that. Like that a lot. Cool. Save. Now, do I want it to touch? I don't think I do. But I think that underneath it maybe, or off to the side, where I want to put a wind farm, essentially, some turbines. But I'm not sure where. I was thinking I'd go right across, but I don't know if I want to. Well, let's try it, see. Mesh, cube, 7. 2 meters. So this could be, come here. Could be bigger. S 1.5, go to 3 meters. Rotation scale. Tab, 3, back to that. GX, all the way across. Yep, Cool. Tab it. And bring it in. So it's, there we go. Something like that. I don't hate that. I'm all right with that as a size and a location. I grab my turbine. I made one before for an old project, but I'm going to use it again. S.25. Something like that. RZ90, RX180, upside down. Yep, 7G and GZ, kind of like there. Maybe back over a little bit. We can add, if we can get 3 in, or at least 2. I'd like 3 though, so let's scale it a bit more. Q array 1. Something like that. That works for me. Control A. Let's just apply it. And then here, now I can change things if I want to on them. It's not like it's a big mesh or anything. Save it. Where are we at? 30 minutes. We're doing great. Cool. Now, we definitely want some pipes along this thing here. Let's just select this and this for right now, so we can kind of control what we're looking at. And edit this to Control R 3. 3 seems good. Maybe 4. 4 is even better. Okay. Select those two. Q, curve extract. Go that direction, so it's, I know for a fact it's plus and not minus. GZ, bring it down. Okay, let's edit it. I think geometry, I'd like maybe resolution of 6. Yeah, 6 seems better than 4 for this one. Probably doesn't matter, but, and we're not going to bother to fill the caps because we're not going to see them because they're buried inside the mountain. And then Shift Q, utility, flanges and couplings, custom, heavy flange or coupling, heavy flange, and depth of 0.65, something like that. Sure. And then number 2. That works. That's better. Cool. Save that. I'll take this sucker here and Control R, add some edge loops, and Control R. I'm going to edge loop up to the top like that, and Control R and an edge loop down to the bottom like that. I think that'll be good. Okay, and A, utility, plate insets. We know I love it, right? Maybe 1, something like that. We can make it a bit stronger though. Instead of depth 0.25, 0.05, just to make it a little bit more obvious. And I'm going to cut our maximum down to 4 or even 3. Ooh, 3. That's definitely given us some nice look there. Save it. across, and I think that's looking sweet. Now, I want to build something here. Now, what's the best way to do that? I think curve, Bezier curve. Tab A, X, vertices. Now I want to draw, and I want to draw on cursor. Yes, I think. I want to set my cursor to here. Yes. And then draw a curve like that. Yep, that works. And now I'm going to geometry extrude it, or sorry, depth. First take it to 6, depth of like 0.5. Give myself a nice pipe. And I want to, maybe not quite 0.5. Let's take it to smaller. Okay, grab this one and bring it in like that. Okay. And this one, let's bring it to like there. And this one, bring it down. Just kind of line it up like that. Okay. Now we could give it sure, let's do that. Let's give it some caps. See how it looks. Caps only. Yeah, they don't look great because they're lined up badly, but we can fix that, and we're going to have to do it manually, I think, or it's just going to be easier to do it manually. Let's go to local. Okay, sure. Or something like that. Cool. Good enough. Save it. Probably we're not even going to see that from the angle, any angle I ever shoot it, but you know, I just wanted to put it in there. So we have connected that to that. And where are we at? 38. We're doing so good. Okay. Let's do a little bit of random flowing on this sucker here now. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to see what happens if we quad remesh it first to like 2000. See if we lose everything. No, let's see, that looks okay. Top's a little weird now. Do I like it better or worse? Well, I like a lot of their other stuff better. Top, I think I can live with that. I think for the rest of it, this is helpful though. No. Till we get to about where? Here. That's where it starts to get weird, but that's fine. We'll just use that section for right now. And plate insets. And let's make this one smaller now, 0.025. Maybe even less. 0.01 with a margin of 0.1, 0.05, at an inner margin of 0.05. That gives us those like interesting plate faces now, which we could have achieved maybe with the plates, but I just like doing it this way better for some reason. I don't really know why. There's just something about it that I just prefer. Grab those and that. And then this, 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 and this. Do those now. Shift Q, plate insets, see if we can keep the same. And we cannot because of the inset is smaller. Inner of 0.01, that works. And it's close enough that no one's going to notice the difference anyway. That's cool. Okie and let's do this one. And do the same thing here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab those. Just doing it a little bit at a time so I can change things if I want to. Like this one, I think I might make the depth 0.02, 0.05. So it's kind of bigger on the bottom, kind of chunkier. Yeah, I like that. And this here, select that. That's the whole pipe. We'll grab one more just to make sure. And then Shift Q on this one. Let's try it again. Plate insets. And we're going to go back to 0.02. And I think maybe we're going to remove inner to 0 and do it that way. And fill. Maybe go to 0.01. Keep it subtle. Yeah. Okay. Save. If anyone's here, stop, say hey, please. I always appreciate it. We got that weird edge there. That's okay. I want to maybe tweak the top part a little bit, make it a bit different. What can we give there? Do a little kit bashing. I feel like we've gotten to a stage where I don't mind doing some kit bashing. It's a good shape. Something we haven't used a lot. Maybe this. Alt R dot RX90. RX minus 90. Scale. Like that. Global. GZ. Scale in just a bit. There you go. Sure. Works for me. We haven't done any materializing yet, so that's fine. We need to probably go to GZ, take it up a bit higher. Like that. Sure, it's still cutting through. Just if we look, it's cutting through a little bit, but I feel like that will be fine, particularly once we materialize things. Q, sharpen. Alrighty, and we're at 44. Maybe we will. Let's materialize some shit now. We want to try using the actual big, medium, small kit. I do like it. Let's see, want to go with some plates and colors? Solo it. 1, tab A, U, cylinder projection. Align on polar ZY. Let's see. That just seems very weird. You want pole? No. Fan. Just trying different things. Nope. These weird ones are weird sometimes. Tab U. Let's just see what Smart gives us. Smart's sometimes good. Smart seems pretty good here. In this case, Smart is relatively smart. UV editing. And let's look at it and just it. And here, let's go SX and scale it so that it's closer to a circle. Because I feel like that's going to just do us better. And then scale down like that. How do we feel about that? Not liking it yet. Do we like that more? I don't like these. I'm trying to avoid that red thing there. That might be good. Just something like, yeah, that's good. Maybe we need to fix a few of them. Well, we can do that. Yeah, I can't. It's all one piece. G, just to there. G, just to there. Cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be great because it's kind of representational. Hey, Micah. Yeah, just working out the UVs. Always pleasant. But it's looking okay now. Now let's select these. 1. This time I should be able to do cylinder. Yes, cylinder does actually mostly work for those. Why is it so shift hide and solo that? And oh no, I don't hide selected. Unhide selected. Shift hide. Okay, so those are it's literally just a band, guys. Why are we getting weird? Ugh, UVing. UVing's such a pain in my ass. Unwrap. Now it's round. I don't want it round. I want it straight. I do. Actually, I'm building. I'm literally making windows right now. Believe it or not. Good enough. Cubing and will be probably fine. I'm literally putting a window in right now. Plus assign lights and windows non-alpha. Behold, windows. Ye of little faith. It's the other world that didn't have windows. This world does have windows. I just said the aliens didn't do windows so much. I actually put windows in the city, quite a few of them. So yeah. Let's see. Let's go with gray. Yeah, she ain't playing gray. AU cube projection. And this thing here, we take it to plain gray. Yeah, it's better. These pipages, let's give them the dark one again. Stressed hull. Sure. And our flanges, we'll give them 31 orange. No. Fine. Do it this way. Sorry to get it lined up properly sometimes. There we go. Okay, and now we need to add the sulfur on top. And this one's going to be quite a lot of it because we modified it before. And that's cool. Sheeting A. We're way up high. We want it all, yes. So there's a lot more in the sulfur storms here than there is down below. So we're getting this like, yeah, literally this grungy yellow over everything, which is what I wanted. So good. Both of those there, good. This one here, good. And this one here. Actually, these ones though, I don't want to have. Well, you revise that. Undo. Let's edit. Just solo those. I don't want the bands to have sulfur because they spin. The other stuff can. Control L. Cool. Control L. So we will add a second material to this one. Metal sheeting plain gray again. New. No sulfur. NS. And this one, we will, first I think should we assign it to that, and then we'll remove that. Cool. Okay, select back and layout. We should be good. That's looking all right to me. Where are we at? 53? We're doing really well. I think the scale on this needs to be smaller, unfortunately, though. The sulfur scale is a little bit off. Just looks weird on an object this small. But that's okay. We can fix that. Shading. Sci-fi standard. It's just this one so far anyway, although we can always adjust it. We're going to call it add sulfur smaller scale, just in case I need to mess with it later. And come on. There we are. Mapping of like 50. There's that. That's the other one though. Mapping of like 50. Or is it the UV? What is causing that? Is it the UVing? Should all be part of that same map though. Bump. It's that bump is too strong. Strength of 0.25. That's better. As it gets smaller, I wonder if I could, okay. I'm going to nerd for just a second here. No, because it goes to, well, yes, we can. Okay, let's take it back to 25 here. It's still too much, but I want to do a Shift A, search value, and duplicate it. Make this one 25, and plug it into here. Shift A, search, because I've run into this before. Math, multiply, where this one messes up by this value of 2, or just 1. And now, can I come over here and have my strength here be 1, and then, but no, let's do it again. Grab these. Shift duplicate. This is completely meaningless for this terrain, but I just want to try something because I think it'll be useful later. We take this value to our strength, yes, and we 1 divide by this one, and we can go 2, yes. So now I just need to remember when I want to change the scale of this, don't change it here, change this multiple. And as the multiplier, as the scale gets bigger, the height of the bump will get smaller and everything should map out properly. I'm going to do the exact same thing down below too. Shift D. And so this one is 50, so 25 and 2. 50. And down here, our bump, I want this to be 1 at this point now. Why is that? Why did we move them around to divide? Well, oh yeah, right. 1 into there. So now we can adjust, and yes. See, it gets heavier and then it gets smaller. Cool. So now I don't have to, I'll have to move this into my other terrain, but I just want to do this because that will make our life way, way easier for fixing this kind of shit. And this is the smaller scale, which I'm going to put over here instead too. Just X, add smaller scale, much better. And yeah, good. And here, I'm just fixing it. Minor textural stuff, but you know, it really makes a difference sometimes. Here, same thing. And now it will work as I adjust it across everything. And yay. Okay. So we're saved. And we've got like a half an hour left. We are doing wonderfully. I want to add a few more lights and blinky shit to things. I think up here, these make excellent lights. I mean, they're just rivet holes supposedly in this thing, but let's just edit it. Shift G coplanar. Can you give it to me? You're getting me all 4, right? Yes, you are. You're a beautiful thing, you. E. Up. Select more. Cool. Plus assign. And Red. This is the auto terrainer geometry node. And I'm using the $5 one, which was the Rocky Desert version. There's a freebie one that makes like I don't know, more foresty kind of ground. But the way the freebie one works, it has built-in rocks and grass that it adds to it, and I don't want that. I just wanted the straight flat one. I could have just edited it, but since I bought both, I wind up using the one that doesn't have that stuff. Cause I'm lazy. Let's see. Cool. That's looking good. I want to make it strength of like 15 and just want to see what will happen if we sulfur to it. Yeah, okay. Because it kind of cuts the light down in parts as the other thing is on top of it. Sure. Okay. Then we want a few lights, I think, on the bottom too. Those top ones are good. Let's come down here. Hide. I think I've just got this. This loop, yes, does not actually have any stuff on it. So what's the best way to deal with the way I want to do this? I think the first thing I'm going to do is dissolve edge. Cool. Yep. I'm going to select there to there. Come on. Oh, I see. It went the other direction. I'm sure that's what happened. Trying to select shortest path, and it went around the backside of the mountain. Okay, select those. And then select, check, or deselect. Cool. And then that, cool. And then Alt-E on normals in, now let's assign it again. And you didn't, because I didn't have it. Assign, and I was like, oh, it's orange, but it's not the right orange. Red emissive. There we go. So we got some lights underneath, which I think will be helpful. I think we want some lights on our, what do you call it? Wind farm. And we'll grab some from, we'll use the Ian ones just to get us a little interest. The beacons. They're small though. RY minus 90. No, RY 90. Top. Just debating how I want to do it. Scale it up a bit. I could do that. 7. Just select those. For right now, get rid of that so I can see what I'm doing. 7. G. And yeah, to like there. See, they're both in. Yep, they are. We can do one more, I suppose. Kind of split the difference. Being a little bit fast and loose with my measurements, but that's okay. select all three. GZ, bring them down just a bit so they all touch. Cool. And yeah, that works for me. Now we have not established how people get to this place, but I think we're going to make that the port. And we might as well just make a port out of it then. Term sheet. Get objects. Yep, there we go. And ports and airlocks. No, what did he call it? Hatches. I'm just going to make it a hatch this time. Seven. It looks really big for a hatch. Shift S2. Okay, now we grab this. Oh, but it's got the thing sticking out the side, but we can see now. Bring it up. Okay, seems good. And we're going to go with Classic and Chrome. And the Chrome one doesn't have our thing on it yet, but it will. Shift A, search, add, sulfur, smaller scale. Yeah, everything's kind of covered up quite a bit, but that's fine. And yep, I'm okay with that. Looks pretty good. So that will be our port where people enter. So the ship kind of pulls up on top and it goes down. It's almost like it's a spaceship itself. But that's good. There's not really a lot of room here otherwise, and there's more room on the top, so I can buy that. That would be a good reason to do that. This, I'm gonna switch this. This is just too much as well. Now that I've fixed the normal on the other one, it's just bothering me there. It should be the same. Yeah, I just like it better smaller. We're just gonna use that one. Save it. Okay, and where are we at? 108. Doing well. I think for scale, I'm going to play with some. Are they all in lights? Oh, come on, really? Seeing collection go away. What's that? Was that the original Bezier curve? Oh, yeah. Delete that. And scene collection. Get out of my lights. Okay, save. I'm going to open up yesterday's file and grab some windsuit dudes and have them flying by this thing. Because it's small enough now, we don't actually need to use a spaceship for scale, and it'd be kind of neat. So why not? Yeah, man. Open. Yeah, on the bottom. Canyon flying. Let's see. I think I made it all part of him, didn't I? G. Yes, he's all good. Okay. Select hierarchy. Control C. Copy objects. Control V. Select hierarchy, M, new collection, flyers. Where did I put him? Way the fuck down there. G. Bring him up to like here. Yep, there he is. Woo! So let's just make a couple of him. And this one is green. Do we want to? I don't know. It was an MRI. So like I was there for, they did a 4.5 minute scan of my ears and told me they'd tell me in 2 weeks. So hopefully I'm okay. Shifty down, and let's rotate him slightly this way and slightly that way. He's actually really close, but let's push him out a little bit. And one more. Shifty and over, maybe up. We'll rotate him slightly that way and slightly that way. Okay, they're all green right now. 2 weeks, not 4 weeks, 2 weeks. Till my doctors get back to me. I'm like, honestly, I don't even think they need that long. Like in the old days, these things had to be exposed and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure it's digital imaging. Like I'm sure she had the picture when I walked out of there yesterday. But the doctor has 2 weeks to get back to me. It's fine. I'm actually going to be on holiday in 2 weeks, so next week I'll be here. The week after that, I'm going to be gone all week because I'm going on holiday for the first time in literally 6 years. So kind of psyched about it, even if I probably shouldn't afford it, but I'm going to. Okay, so we got 3 guys. We'll leave them all green. They're like a team, so they're like, I was thinking about making them different colors, but we'll leave them all green. Let's get rid of this guy. It's kind of neat, and it helps set our scale, I think, pretty effectively. What happens if we set our world back to the other one now? Where am I going? I'm actually going to Hawaii. I'm going to Maui, which was stressful in and of itself when the fires came out last month. But it seems like where we're going seems like it's okay. So, like, knock on wood, I'm hoping everything will be all right. So had it planned for months in advance, bought cheap tickets before, waited till after Labor Day, all that kind of stuff. And then, then fires happened. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. But, I mean, I'm sure, obviously, there are people who have it worse in regards to that particular event than me, but it was still a little annoying. The last time I tried to go on vacation was to Italy in the summer of 2020, and I bought my tickets 2 weeks before the breakout of COVID. So it's like every time I try to go on vacation, the world comes to an end. And I need a break. So I need to get out of here for a little while. Okay, so there's that. Let's keep going. 35. Just kind of setting up our first shot, probably. And I kind of like the underneath one like this. Yeah, now we know it's me. It is the long-standing joke, unfortunately. It is indeed me. Yeah, it's been crazy for forest fires this year. I mean, welcome to the rest of the rest of our lives, but sadly. Which one do we want to use for up here? I will keep using this one. Whew, that's interesting. It's almost kind of how I wanted it. I haven't even shown the cool, like I didn't even do anything down here with, I mean, these like cool little bumps and whatever, and we didn't do anything with those. Maybe I should show them from that too. That'll be another angle. Maybe I'll move the people around, but I like, I'll do all this cool stuff with this canyon, and then I kind of haven't really used much of it. Control A, rotation scale. We need to change our camera clip in to like 300. Okay, there we go. And I think I want it a little thicker. Make this move it to its own group too. Fog. And I always debate how thick to make my fogs. 0.1? Like that's obviously probably what it should look like, but damn near impossible to see anything. It just looks cool. You know, party's like, oh, that's just so atmospheric, but you can't fucking see anything. And I go back and forth on it. So I don't know what the answer is, but I do really like it like that. I've now looked at this like every time I'm like, oh, I could go to 0.1. No, probably not. Let's go to 0.05. That seems like a good compromise. And I'm going to turn off armatures. Okay, you can still see them. I find that armatures get in the way of seeing what a scene looks like really badly sometimes. So you just need to turn them off. And you're like, oh, no, that's what it's going to be. Okay, that's better. I don't know that it's wasted though. So like I read a really neat article back in 2010 or so, and this will tie into our space station or our spaceport from the other day too, talking about how to train your dragon. And they said that one of the reasons CG movies look so bad, and keep in mind 2010 rather, so yeah, and look so fake, is because we all spend so much time modeling all this cool stuff that there's a subconscious need to show it that goes against making a final product that actually looks good. So, and I think it's true, to be honest. I really, it's really resonated with me for, well, coming up on 15 years now. But like if you look at a real movie, if you look at like, I don't know, a film noir or something set in San Francisco at night or whatever, there's dark. You can't see every corner or every little thing you did that's there. A lot of Blade Runner is literally just silhouettes and glare. But when you model, you're like, oh, but I spent all this time making a building. Yeah, you did. So now you've got something there that helped you build this whole thing, but it shouldn't be in and of itself. What is that? Is that my fog? Oh, that's my sun. Okay. Just gonna move it there so I can see it better. So don't be afraid to hide shit. Like ultimately, I'm showing off a scene and I'm trying to make it feel right. I don't like I modeled something. Okay, it took me 20 minutes. Like it's cool. I think it's neat looking, but it doesn't really matter. There's nothing there about it that's like super special. And I think that is a lot more powerful than that. Oh yeah, and like that's what art books are for. Like that's what like you're right. Like it's neat to see stuff and sometimes you want to, but don't be afraid to not show stuff to set a mood. Like cuz the mood is always more important than the stuff. You show too much shit and it just kind of ruins the whole mood of everything potentially. You're better off not showing something and having the mood if you have to make a choice between those two. I want to come down here. I want to put a light on these things. I think we can tab, edit. Let's just solo them. I just grabbed this piece here. Extend it out a bit. Plus, actually, it's not extended out that much. Extend it out a little bit. ES. individual origins, right? Alt S? No. S, Shift Y. Why are you not scaling, fucker? Oh, Shift X. S, Shift X. There we go. That's better. E, bevel. 0.25? Sure. No. 0.025? Yes. Better. And plus. And plus assign red. Okay. Tab. So now we should have, let's see, that should give us a neat looking light on those things now. Is it gonna be big enough that we'll notice? I don't know, maybe. Let's see. We got time to sort of play with it and test it a little bit. Yep, no, that's good. That's the kind of subtle thing I like. Like, yeah, that doesn't do much for it doesn't really change the mood, but those are the kind of details that I want to like ping on. It's like, oh, that's cool. We could do one more thing. Let's grab another flyer. We're going to turn back on our armatures. Select hierarchy, Shift D. Now it's GY, GZ, GX. And maybe I will just go so I can see like this. GY. Gonna bring him in. So we have somebody in the foreground doing his thing. He's rotating. Yeah, we can just rotate him this way. I find that subtle is the kind of thing, the more you do stuff, the more you add subtle. Like, I used to know a lady, who's a friend of my ex-wife, so we don't talk anymore, who's a color, does like color correcting and editing. And when she first started color correcting stuff, it looked like a drag queen's makeup. Like it was just so glaringly in your face, it took you out of the story. Because everyone's like, ooh, and then they want to turn it to 11, Spinal Tap style. And then as you play with it more, you're like, oh, wait, subtle is where the power is. And there's nothing wrong with being obvious and punchy sometimes. But like when everything's punchy, nothing is punchy. Yeah, it's better. I like having the person there too. Maybe we give that person a light too, shining on them from like off camera. So like dot Shift A, go to lights. Shift A light. Even gets a spotlight. Local and 3 cursor. And down just a bit. And power of like 500. And let's see. I just want to give it maybe even a bit more angle down. I want to so we get some light on this guy to show that he's what it is a little bit. But I don't, again, subtle is important. I usually try to take it too far and then bring it back. That's my answer of it, historically speaking. Oh, that's better. Cool. See this light now? Like, I think that really helps sell. There's a guy, there's a light, we get some interest, but it's not drawing too much power from everything else. So it now makes this part of the story rather than, oh, look, it's a building, you know. I mean, as much as I like buildings, I don't think anyone masters that. That's the kind of thing you just spend your life getting better at, and that's kind of the point. So here's a question now. What do we focus on? We could focus on this guy if we wanted to, and the rest of that stuff kind of fades to the background. We could focus on this building here, make him be a little out of focus in the foreground, and that might make him feel like he's moving faster. I think maybe we'll try that. Yeah, particularly not analog painting. I mean, you can, but it's harder. Yeah. I used to be a watercolorist. You can't take anything back. It's like, oh, there it is. That's what you're gonna do now. Okay. Um, Even beyond water. Actually, I used to use, and my girlfriend still doesn't. She's amazing at it. Acrylic inks. So it's like watercolor, only you can't. Only it dries opaque, and you can't change it later. Um, Maria's super good at it. I was balls at it, but I did do it. Um, okay. No, I think that's cool. Um, I like my building. I like my shot. Let's just see if we can find another shot or two where we get something else that's kind of interesting in here, even if we don't have the people as much. But I do like the people. Um, Cameras. We can do camera. No, we like our first one. And got our like weird penis rock. All rocks are weird penis rocks, but you know, hey, whatever. Um, there. I'm just gonna see focus. Maybe focus on that this time. This could be neat. We'll still see those guys in silhouette in the sky, I believe. Yeah, they're smaller, but that's kind of neat. Um, Again, just to show like the canyon. I like that. And um, let's grab another one. Control C, Control V here. And go from on top. It won't be as contrasty because the sun's on top, but might be cool. And it's the kind of shot you'd probably get if you were making this into a film. Like you'd come on top and then you'd do below, and you know, even if it wasn't by itself that interesting, it's still a good shot as part of the process. Yeah, that might be a little heavy. I'm gonna have to cut back on the smoke on that one, or the fog, but I think it's a cool angle. And did I turn off armatures? Yes, I did. And you can kind of see those guys. That's cool. And then one more. Let's do a final. And I think we probably want, come here. Where am I? Let's do one from like close somewhere. Like, can we get to see the people? Maybe like that. That's kind of neat. Yeah, and we'll focus on the three flyers again and see what we get. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't tell you much on its own. Like you're like, what the hell is this that we're looking at? But as a shot to show these guys going by, it's really dramatic and it gives us this cool framing. It's definitely a like, yeah, Blade Runner, Denis Villeneuve, however you pronounce his name. I can't do French. I'm a Canadian and I cannot pronounce French to save my life. Um, but yeah, it's got that Roger Deakins high contrast light. I dig it. I dig it. Cool. Oh, and I didn't move this one, but that's fine. So we got that. So we have one, 2, in order that we did them, 3, 4. Yep, I like all 4 of them. I think they'll all 4 work for what we're trying to do. And yeah, I think we're going to call it. Almost exactly 90 minutes. Worked out well. Like I said, I'll be back on Monday. I'll be, as far as I know, I should be good all 5 days next week. I don't have anything planned that I am aware of. Um, I'm leaving Friday, but I'm not leaving till after lunch, so I should be able to do a stream. I'm going to be all packed up Thursday night and stuff. Thank you. And I've got a few more ideas for this planet. I think we'll probably go through this planet at least through next week. And after I get back from vacation, who knows? We'll have to see what happens. I might have some new ideas. um, but yeah, I'm glad you could make it, Micah. Yeah, have a great weekend as well. And lovely rest of your day. I know you're a lot further along than I am. But everybody else, if anyone who's quiet, thanks for watching. And if you're watching later, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And I will see everybody back again on Monday. Okay, bye bye.